vindication from PJ Zuko, who saw Top Gun Maverick last night. Was I right? Did it live up to the hype? Because I know the worst thing in the world is listening to somebody go, "This is amazing," and then going in with all like the expectations and it falling flat. Did it live up to the hype?
Absolutely. At
Yes.
1,000,000%. I thought it had huge flop potential, especially when I saw all the reviews and heard from everybody. But getting your stamp of approval, honestly, yesterday was a green light for me, and it lived up to everything. Like I saw the latest Star Wars movies. I know how those went in theaters and everything. I saw Endgame, Infinity War, all those movies in the best movie theater that we could go to see
Right.
them several times, and that blew those away, honestly.
Okay, so
like,
when I said yesterday,
emotional wise,
Yeah.
now I'll say emotional wise, like Infinity War, Endgame, like
Yeah.
those got me. There were a few moments, honestly, in Maverick that were pretty good too, that type. But when you're just talking about energy, exhilaration, excitement, and just pure movie experience, that was incredible. Like one of the best things I've seen at least in the last 5 or 6 years.
Best movie theater experience ever, though?
One of them.
Because I know
I
you're gonna talk about like the emotional scenes where like the portals open up in Endgame and everyone's freaking out and all that, but I'm talking beginning to end, gripping your chair during scenes. Are you willing to put it up there?
Yeah. I see, that's the problem though, is like
because I know you're feeling your feels during the MCU stuff.
Of course.
But like I feel like you would have felt those same things had you been watching on a big screen at home.
Right. Yeah.
It was more
true.
so just like seeing a story, a decade tied up.
Yeah. And you're always gonna have that.
Right. I'm talking about the movie theater experience.
I'll say, okay, I'll put it this way. I don't know how to rank those things. I'm really bad with ranking those things.
PJ, we have a short show today. I need to yes or no. We can't extrapolate things today.
I get it. It's top 3. It's
all right,
top 3 or top 5.
We'll see if we get, Top Gun top 3. We'll see if we get it to number 1.
The last hour is the most nervous, exciting, exhilarating. Like my heart was pumping like I was running at the gym. Right. So like,
daggum.
Yeah, it was. I'll say that was the most excited / nervous / exhilarated I've been in a movie ever.
All right, so
I'll say that.
Here's what's happening today as we get PJ's review. Here's what's happening today. Braves baseball coming up at 3:40. We are going to hand you over to Braves pregame coming up at, correct me if I am wrong, Kevin, 3:25 is when we're, or 2:25, excuse me.
Yeah.
2:25. Right. That would make 0 sense. Not 15-minute pregame. 2:25. We're handing you over to Braves pregame. So right now, we need to talk about something happening down in Destin.
For sure.
As SEC meetings have officially gotten underway down in Destin. You have Paul Feinbaum sitting on a beach, which is just the most college football bleep I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, just what we've always wanted to see. Yeah.
So NIL and transfer portal and all of that is huge, overarching college football conversations that are going to change the landscape of college football. The SEC, for as powerful as they are, cannot control that. Right. As Kirby Smart says, they got to keep the main thing the main thing.
There you go.
Right. They can't control NIL. They can't control transfer portal and the changes that are coming inside the leadership of college football. What they can control is what is happening in the SEC. And the biggest storyline coming out of this is apparently we are going to get a decision on what the scheduling is going to look like for the SEC once Texas and Oklahoma officially join and the SEC goes to a 16-team league. Now, the perpetuating rumor out there has been pods.
Right. The past year, really since this got announced, it was automatically pods.
So 4 pods of 4 teams, they all play each other, and then they rotate the rest of the schedule through that with 6 other games because it's going to go. They're thinking it's going to go to a 9-game schedule.
Yeah.
In reality, the SEC hired a firm to come up with every available option for them for scheduling a 16-team conference, and they presented over 30 options.
Wow.
To the SEC in terms of how they can do it. The ones that have come out is either an 8-game schedule or a 9-game schedule. The 8-game schedule would be a 1-7 format. 1-7 meaning you have one permanent crossover or not crossover because you won't have divisions anymore. One permanent opponent.
Yeah.
And then rotate the other 7 games every year.
Wow.
Right.
So you get that one big rivalry game.
And then you rotate through the rest of the conference 7 games.
Crazy.
The other one is a 9-game schedule, and it is a 3-6 format. You have 3 permanent opponents. No, not divisions.
Right.
3 permanent opponents just because you're trying to keep some rivalries alive, and then 6 rotating. So you play a 9-game schedule.
Yeah.
So
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. Oh, wow.
Little ASMR for you here.
Of course. Why
on
not?
your afternoon drive.
We try and get you everything here.
What I have done, Kevin Thomas did it as well. He just didn't do it as good. Is I have listed the 16 future SEC teams and their 3 permanent opponents.
I like that. Yeah.
And so,
because like my mind was already going.
Yes.
Once you said that 1-7, my mind was, what are we gonna lose? So yeah, no, I like this option a lot better.
I don't know if this is good radio, but you know what?
This is what you get for at least 15 more minutes.
Not 15 more minutes, because I do want to come back and complain about the Braves. But that being said,
gotcha.
I want to go through and I want to list out who I believe the 3 permanent opponents will be. I think a lot of them are just common sense, and I'll go back to the ones that seem a little bit out there. So starting semi-alphabetical order, I went through, I forgot teams, had to add them in as I was going through. I wrote all the teams down with like 3 slots so I could go through and just add the games as I went. And, alphabetical order, but then you forget about the teams, but alphabetical order gets messed up. It's semi-alphabetical. And the last 2 teams are Oklahoma and Texas because they're not in yet. All right, so starting with Alabama at the top. There are 3 common opponents: Auburn, LSU, Tennessee.
Yes.
I know you lose out on some other stuff: Alabama, Ole Miss, Alabama, Arkansas, some of these other SEC West games. But I think the 3 most important ones: Iron Bowl, LSU, and then 3rd Saturday in October.
Yeah, that's actually one of the first games I thought of when you said that 1-7 is, can you imagine a season without where we
LSU,
don't see
Alabama?
LSU, Alabama? That'd be insane.
All right, moving down the list, Arkansas is LSU. You got to have the battle for the Golden Boot. LSU, A&M, because, got to have the game in Jerry World. And then Missouri, because that has been the constructed new SEC rivalry that they have made, a border war for them. So LSU, A&M, Missouri, the 3 permanent games for Arkansas. Auburn, this one's interesting because a lot of teams love playing Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, obviously. Georgia, Deep South's oldest rivalry, and LSU.
Okay.
It's a rivalry game, always a great game. And then, as Kevin and I talked about, just a wonderful uniform game.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah.
It doesn't matter which, because no matter what, Auburn's going to be wearing the blue tops. LSU's going to be wearing the white tops. You don't know what year it is that you're watching because their uniforms don't change.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful uniform matchup. So Alabama, Georgia, LSU for Auburn. As for Florida, obviously it's Georgia, Tennessee, and South Carolina.
Really?
I was thinking about Kentucky.
Okay.
I was thinking about Kentucky.
I was thinking about this. Well, maybe it's too many for LSU, but I was thinking about LSU because that's always a great game too.
But you can't.
There's so many different.
We can't. I may have screwed this up, EJ. No. Anyway, I'm good. Georgia.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Kevin, calm down.
Don't worry about it. Just keep going. No one's going to catch it. No one's going to catch it, even if you did.
Georgia is Florida, Auburn, South Carolina. Florida, obviously, got to play. I'm just going to call it what it is: world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
There you go.
Got to play that every year. Auburn, Deep South's oldest rivalry, and somebody has to play South Carolina. So there we are. The hardest part of this exercise was somebody has to play Vanderbilt, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, understandable.
All right.
Yes.
Kentucky, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. And listen, it ain't the best. It's not. It's not the best scheduling out there for Kentucky. USC, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. But like I said, somebody has to play Kentucky. Somebody has to play Vanderbilt. You keep some of the SEC rivalry in there with Kentucky and South Carolina. Vanderbilt and Kentucky has become kind of a territory war. And then Mississippi State, luck of the draw.
Yeah.
All right, Ole Miss. Vanderbilt was their permanent crossover to the East, right? Obviously, you have to play the Egg Bowl. And then I have A&M on there for Ole Miss.
Very least a fun game.
Right.
But, I mean, that's a pretty solid. I feel like that's always a pretty solid SEC West, highly contested kind of game. So, I feel like that's pretty good.
All right, Mississippi State, Egg Bowl, Kentucky, and then our first appearance of one of the new schools, Oklahoma.
Okay.
I just think it kind of makes sense regionally.
Right.
Terrible uniform game.
Yeah,
But
that's
I mean,
kind of gross.
You're about to have so much maroon inside of the SEC.
They really like those three teams have really got to. Oklahoma
Yeah.
can't, but like Texas A&M and Mississippi State really got to sort out their
All right,
uniforms.
we gotta go fast here.
Yeah, sorry.
South Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, Florida makes sense.
Yep.
Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, and Vanderbilt. I'm keeping the in-state rivalry in there. Vanderbilt,
Yeah, that's good.
Vanderbilt's got a little havoc going on of beating Tennessee, so we'll keep Vanderbilt in there. Missouri, Arkansas, and then the two new opponents, Texas and Oklahoma for Missouri. A&M, we're restarting the rivalry with Texas.
Yep.
As much as A&M and Texas want to avoid it, forcing them to play.
Doesn't
Arkansas, because you got to play in Jerry World, and Ole Miss. Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ole Miss. I think that's fair for Vanderbilt. They'll probably still lose them all, but it is what it is.
It's
and
Vanderbilt.
It brings us to our two new members.
Right.
Oklahoma. Obviously, you got to play Texas. Missouri and Mississippi State. And then rounding it out with Texas. I think this is a wonderful schedule for them. Oklahoma, A&M, and Missouri.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. So yes. So basically the old part of the old Big 12 schedule.
Yes.
There. I think that's great though. I love that.
So many different rivalries from conferences that no longer exist.
Yeah. No, true. Did you have Georgia, Tennessee in there, or is that gone by the wayside?
Georgia, Tennessee's gone.
Yeah.
Like you gotta.
Well, that's the amazing thing about this, right?
Tennessee, I think they have a more important rivalry with Alabama and
For
Florida.
sure.
I think those two are more important than Georgia, Tennessee, and then because Tennessee, Florida's been a rivalry since the SEC was invented.
Right.
Right. And then, like I said, somebody has to play Vanderbilt.
True.
And so I gave
that's
them
in-state and everything
in-state
too. No,
Tennessee,
I think that's really good.
And somebody has to play South Carolina.
Very true.
All right.
That is kind of amazing. But
let's take a break here.
Yeah,
because we are in a time crunch today because we're walking you up to the Braves. We're gonna take a break here. We'll come back, wrap up our conversation on this, and then get you ready for Braves pregame. Take a quick break. We'll come back with more. This is Second Down on ESPN Radio. We're presented to you by the Uniform Source. Second down on ESPN Radio, presented to you by the Uniform Source. Kevin Thomas is losing his mind because he doesn't have 3 hours to just brain spew.
If we could just pack it like the last minute and a half of the things Kevin has said and just have it on a loop, that'd be hilarious and a whirlwind and crazy.
And also, all of
time.
us would lose our minds.
Yes, that's very true.
Quickly. We are walking you up to Braves baseball coming up here in about 4 minutes. We'll have pregame coverage for you as the Braves, try to get something right. I don't know. Blow a lead last night. Lose are 0-4 now in extra innings this year. Like, extra innings for the Braves is just atrocious.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, that's the thing right now, right? There's a lot of things right now for the Braves.
But that goes to
atrocious.
last year with even with the whole no quit with Snit. If you didn't come back inside the regular 9 innings, Braves are going to lose in extra innings.
Yeah, you're not winning.
Like, there's no quit Snit, but he has an early bedtime. So if you go to extra innings,
it's just
about
over.
to get rough.
Yeah.
Also, do you see what happened with Ronald Acuna Jr. last night, where he gets plunked after the bullpen guy has a mound meeting with the catcher?
Okay, no, I did not see that situation. Yeah.
Was it the starter? Yeah, starter getting slapped around. I don't know. He just had one of those names. I assumed he's a bullpen guy because I'd never heard it before. But that being said, has a mound meeting with the catcher. Catcher walks back. Very next pitch, just plunked right in the back.
Yeah.
How Brian Snitker's not out there just throwing hands, I have no idea. This is the 4th time Acuna has been hit already this year, and he missed.
Yeah, like the first month and a half of the season. Yeah. And then he had more time where they didn't know if he got injured again, didn't know if they were.
Well, they're just being real careful with him, where it's he's like, man, I kind of woke up a little funky. All right, hey guys, Ronnie's not playing today.
Cut him for the next week and a half.
Yeah, Ronnie's not playing today, but there is an important thing to get to here, as much fun as it is to make fun of the Braves struggling. It's because we're all just suffering together. Serious note here, in the history of divisions in Major League Baseball, the Braves are currently sitting behind the 3rd largest division lead in the history of Major League Baseball as of June 1st.
Wow.
The biggest ones ever, 14 games for the 2001 Mariners, 11 games for the 2017 Astros, and then tied with the 1971 Giants are the 2022 New York Mets that have a 10.5 game lead in the division.
Yeah.
The next closest lead currently in Major League Baseball, 5.5.
Right.
For the New York Yankees over the Toronto Blue Jays.
Jeez. Yeah, that's insane.
The Mets are fine. Everybody else has just been terrible.
Yeah. And that's the main thing, right? Is I think right now they're just trying to run away and hide, because we all know what the Mets do.
I don't know that they are trying to run away and hide. I think they're doing everything they can to leave the division open. It's just the Phillies and the Braves keep tripping over their own feet.
Yeah.
You have a 5-game lead last night, or a 5-run lead last night, excuse me. Blow it.
It's been bad.
So if it's the offense not showing up when they have some good pitching, or if it's you finally get some runs, you scored 6 runs last night in regulation, I guess is what we'll call it there, Kevo. But 6 runs in regulation, that ain't good enough to get it done because your bullpen just comes in and falls apart against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
I know this whole new age thought around baseball, these different teams that are supposedly on the up and up, and the Diamondbacks are one of them, but you're blowing games to the Diamondbacks. I don't care what era of baseball it is. You don't blow games to the Diamondbacks.
We don't do that here.
I mean, sheesh.
But it's happening.
That being said, I guess if there's one positive thing we can hold on to as we get you ready for Braves baseball, this would be the most epic collapse of all time if the Mets just fall apart and someone else wins the division. So we have that to hold on to. Braves baseball coming up next as they take on the Diamondbacks. First pitch set for 3:40. We'll catch up with everyone tomorrow. Miss any portion of the show? Check it out on ESPNCoastal.com.